What am I making you? Nothing, because you can make your own stuff. You can sew me under the table. I am just trying to clear out um, some bins. I've been going through organizing, cleaning things out, and trying to get my Sojo back. And right now I'm just going to finish a crossbody strap for a bag that I made like 2 months ago, which is totally out of the ordinary for me because I always do the crossbody within 24 hours of the bag at least. What are you doing? Because I know your butt's doing something. You're always doing something. Thank you. I actually toned them down the other day. They were out to like here. Way too freaking long. I could handle them, but it's nice to go short. To me, this is short. Medium length coffin is short. I was doing long coffin before. Having your machine on and actually using it are two different things. You need to be putting that thing to use more because you don't sew enough. Ha 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 ha. Well, I've been missing sewing so much lately that I was just like, I need to start sewing something tonight before midnight. I have to be sewing as of the first day of the year, no ifs, ands, or buts. But I didn't feel like really cutting anything out, so I started going through some of my bins, and I've got these cube shelves over here, and I don't keep projects in them. In fact, the one that's here, I hardly even use. And it just so happened that I had a couple of my plastic project bins in there for some reason because I just randomly set them there one day because I didn't know what to do with them because I've been completely discombobulated in this room ever since moving up to it. So I was like, oh, I wonder what's in here. And there was like a bunch of partial wallets, like not anything compiled enough to actually sew, but I had like started cutting out wallets. And so there was 2 bins that had wallets in it, and I went and emptied the first one. And then once I pulled everything out, I went to go upend it over the trash to get rid of what looked like some kind of lint or something in there. And I kept shaking it, and I kept shaking it and shaking it and shaking it. It wasn't coming out. A freaking spider had moved in and built an egg sack in my freaking bin that had wallet stuff cut out in it. So I sprayed the hell out of it with some Raid and said, no, I I don't mind spiders, but when they invade my personal space, like, climbing on me or in my sewing bin that's got pieces that need to be sewn into stuff, then their lives are forfeit. Oh, don't worry, they didn't get any on the fabric. I checked all of the fabric. It's all still good. It's not even dusty. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Um, I've got 2 completed exterior flaps for a BCW, and then I've got a just checking checkbook cover exterior cut, and then there was like a few other miscellaneous wallets from patterns from other designers that I had started to cut, but since it's pretty easy to convince myself that I can't make a wallet, they just ended up in the land of unfinished wallets. I have more unfinished wallets than I do unfinished bag projects laying around, so that says a lot. Hey, if it's invading your sewing space, that counts. It's got to go. The only ones that I'm willing to spare are jumping spiders, and that's because they're just so freaking cute. And the fact that when you catch one off guard and you like, if you talk to it, it will literally turn around and look at you like you're talking to it. And so you can sit there and have a full-on conversation with a jumping spider. And it's adorable. So those ones usually get taken outside. Oftentimes my husband will take them outside, even when they don't deserve it. You know, the nasty ones that are like, haha, you don't open this window, so I'm going to cover half of it with my web for absolutely no reason whatsoever, because I'm not even going to lay in it. I'm just going to create the web and walk away. I hate those spiders. Hold on, I'm going to switch my YouTube over to my tablet so I can actually see it in front of me, because I'm not having fun craning my neck to turn to the right. There we go. So I am determined to, at some point in this month, get everything cleared up and organized. I need to find all of the pieces that I have laying around for narcissists, because I have one, I think, set aside for the tutorial. I just have to find it. It's buried in crap. I ended up taking down one of my big shelves. It was one of those closet organization stands that had like the two horizontal rods, one above the other, right in the center, and then it had like 5 cube shelves on the sides. It was this metal stand. And I've had it in my sewing room for, I don't know, what, 3 or so years. And I decided that I wanted to reorganize this area so that it would be easier for me to use. And I thought, well, if I get rid of that, then I can go and move my cutting table over, and then just kind of put some different stands there and give my son a little bit more space when he wants to sit in front of the TV. So I ended up moving the stand into, hey Jaded, I ended up moving the stand into my son's closet so it can actually be used in a closet, and he needed shelves in there even though he hasn't put anything on them yet, and it's been in there for about a month now. Actually probably over a month. So I had this big empty wall with plans of moving my cutting table over, and then I thought, oh well, what if we put the TV over there instead? That way he can have the entire left-hand side of the room, and then I can move my cutting table over and just take over the larger portion of the room, and everything will be nice and neat. And then I saw that PetSmart was having a Black Friday sale, and I bought a 75-gallon fish tank instead. So now the fish tank is where my closet stand was staying and where my cutting table was supposed to move and where the TV was supposed to move. And it's just really hard to do anything right now because it's not that comfortable up here. And I tend to spend most of my time on my computer instead of in the actual sewing portion area. And then whenever I'm sitting at my computer, I get a little overwhelmed. I can't get peace and quiet. So I can't like turn on my microphone and record, and I can't edit videos without recording because I have to do voiceovers. So I just end up farting around in games and like taking naps in my chair, and it's really stupid and I'm tired of it. I've just been wasting the past few months when I could have had you know, the Narcissist re-release done and the other thing done, and I could have been working on a new pattern already, but it's been a downward spiral of creativity around here, and I'm tired of it. And I've got all of these materials just looking at me, wondering what the hell I'm doing. And so I decided that it was time to start getting my ass in gear and started organizing and thought, you know what? I have not been live in quite a while. I'm going to take some of these project bins and organize them and see what is ready to go. So I have this crossbody that is going to go for a, oh God, what pattern was it? The Monroe is the one that I did, and that is from oh my God, the one who, isn't it the one who did the H2 Go sling thing? Brain fart. Yes, Lynn's Handmade. Thank you. I can't think. So I did 2 of those, but I only made a crossbody for one of them. And after I made the second bag, I said, I'm going to finish the crossbody tomorrow. And then I never sat at my machine again until recently. So this is me making my effort to get my Sojo back forcibly so that I can finish the other videos and start working on some new stuff, because right now my design folder is overflowing, especially in comparison to the patterns that I've got released and the patterns that are partial. So trying to get the ball rolling here. Plus, my kids go back to school on Monday, and my son, I know you already know, Melissa, but my son is not full-time in school, and they're actually expanding his hours by about 1 hour and 45 minutes every day starting Monday. So I am about to get almost 4 hours Monday through Friday by myself at home, which means that'll give me enough time to get up and get motivated to focus on things, because it usually takes me, once I've got the house quiet and to myself, it usually takes about 1 hour for me to find the motivation to actually sit and do anything that I need to get done. And so that gives me an hour to fuel myself if I can force myself to eat breakfast. And then I should be able to finish recording the video that I've been working on within 2 or 3 hours. And then since I'm cutting it up so short, I'll only probably need about half hour, 45 minutes to watch the whole thing to make sure it's done. And then I can get started on the other one. So I'm really looking forward to next week. God, I've just been rambling. I haven't even looked at what you guys are saying. Oh my God, you you did not burn your house down trying to find that spider. Are you crazy? Oh God. I couldn't do it. Could not do it. And yes, a fish tank is more important than my brain cells needing to reorganize. And Happy New Year. Hey, Nicole. You actually had a place that had Stranger Things playing in the theater? Was that like the season finale? Oh, that one had me kind of... I don't like how they left it, because now it has the potential to have a new season, and they've already said it was the last season. Yes, I know you bug me all the time to go live. I just have not had the motivation. And there's not really much else I can do online. I mean, the last time I tried to go live and do something other than sewing, I think, what was that? Was I putting that stand together? I don't have any more stands to put together right now. Well, no, that's a lie. I just got another industrial stand that I need to put together, and I need to put casters on it, but I can't use it until I move back to the basement, because why the hell can't I? I've got a whole bunch of cube shelves here that I don't even use. There's no reason why I can't. Huh. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. We'll see. And then I have a horizontal shelf stand. It's one of those really tall ones that I need to put together, because that's what I use to store my finished bags. And then I also have 2 more cube stands that I have to put together. So I've got 4 stands that need to be put together, but I was waiting until I would go back down to the basement for that. Yeah, I think as far as the finale goes, I just kind of needed to know about 11. Just needed to know for sure, because the way that he talked about it, it's like, did this happen, or are you telling a story? You know, it's just so perfectly right there, teetering on the edge, making me wonder. So I did not like that. Not at all. But other than that, it was pretty good. I think I must have been sleeping through the first several seasons, because I don't know if there was any kind of... I don't know if I'm reading into this too much or not. But last season, when Eddie died, he died in the Upside Down. But from my understanding, the way that people were like being mentally sucked into the Upside Down, if they died there, it was kind of like a Freddy Krueger scenario where they die in the Upside Down and then they die for real in the real world. But because Eddie died in the Upside Down, he didn't leave a body behind in the real world. So part of me was hoping they were going to bring him back, like he was going to be waging a one-man war when they went back or something. But the fact that he was gone forever was kind of greatly disappointing. I don't know. I probably just didn't understand it properly, which isn't a surprise. Yeah. Oh, well. It was also really nice to be able to reminisce about the 80s. You know, it was one of the very few shows created in modern times that was actually somewhat accurate. Oh, she's talking about her failure. She did not fail. Not at all. At least she's been tracking her books. I have not. And Audible does not record them onto Goodreads. And I think they should, seeing as how it's all connected. Hi, Kiva. I swear my machine is getting louder and I don't know why. It's so annoying. Oh God, speaking of annoying, Raven, can you drink that water any louder? Oh, gross. What is Storygraph? Is that similar to Goodreads? What you need to do is stop making those damn wallets and start working on a shop. You said you've already got it like set up. Get your pictures done and start putting stuff up there so you can open with a crap ton of inventory. See, I've been using Goodreads for years, and the thing is, you can have it attached to, like, your Amazon account, your, I think, Barnes & Noble, and a few other things, so that when your reading is tracked through the reading app, like Kindle, it automatically updates on Goodreads. And everything that I've read through Kindle has been accounted for, but I haven't been reading on Kindle for, very often in recent years. Up until about a year ago, most of the books that I was reading were on those pay-to-read apps because they were all the independent authors. But then I just decided it got too expensive. It's much more worth it for me to pay the, what is it, like 12, 15 bucks or whatever to Kindle, so I can have an unlimited library. And I'll know that, the books are legit. It's not stolen work, and it's always going to be accessible through my Kindle unless I choose to delete it. Whereas on those pay-to-read apps, it could be stolen art, stolen stories, and it could also, if the author gets taken down, then the books get taken down, or if the author decides to leave. I was lucky enough that a couple of the authors that I enjoyed reading actually left those sites to go to Kindle and other legit reading apps, but it's not always the case. And some of that stuff is just really bad editing. So knowing that stuff is usually better written on the more legit sites, I just decided I'm going to quit my wicked ways with my independent stuff and go on the straight and narrow without having to run the risk of getting sucked into something that may have been stolen. But the problem, like I said, is that I mostly do audiobooks. So Audible does not do that on there for some reason. I mean, you can attach your Audible to it. It just doesn't record the books when you've read them, which is really stupid. I'm really freaking chatty tonight for some reason. Maybe it's because I haven't been live in forever. Ooh. My husband got me some Guggenheim snips. Scissors, not snips. And oh my God, these things are freaking... So I've got my 8-inch and my 10-inch. And these are kind of knockoffs. They're from Pro Shear. They don't even hold a candle to these puppies. Totally worth it. I'm gonna be getting more of these. I kind of didn't want to pull the trigger on spending $50 or more on a pair of scissors, but after trying these, I think it's totally worth it. Because the other ones, I think I paid like $12 each pair. Or the 8-inch might have been like 10. Yeah, she's a hoarder. She hoards it all. And what's hilarious is she now strikes for JNR. And she has been on top of those strikes, just making a crap ton of stuff. And then when she doesn't have a strike to do, she's making other stuff. So she'll be like, look, I just cut out 50 wallets. I'm going to make 50 wallets. And then like 3 days later, she'd be like, I just cut out 20 more wallets and 3 bags. And then like 5 days later, she'd be like, and then I just started on this bag. And then I'm just like losing my mind with how much she's got going on. And the whole time I'm sitting here thinking, where the hell is she putting it all? Because she's not selling anything. She's giving away some of it, but she's not selling it. And she makes good stuff. She needs to sell it. Well, he got them for me for Christmas. Or maybe Santa did. They were in my stocking. Totally worth it. You are all over the place. She'll be sitting there going, I want to sew, but I don't want to sew anything. I'm bored. And then she'll show me a picture of a shirt she just made for her son, or a bag she just made for a friend, or whatever it is that just randomly appears after like an hour. She's a machine. A machine that needs to start getting stuff out of totes and selling it to people. Oh, see, Melissa, I was telling you mine's just as jacked up as what yours is. It just protects the plate. That's all that I care about. These things are cheap. And then I also have, this is the one I was using before I got the punch, this thing. That one's all kinds of jacked up too, on both sides. Although this is more durable than this cheap whatever the hell thing that is. Yes, this is a really good one. I love it. It just, I mean, the fact that you can put pretty much any kind of drill bit in here, and it's really easy to adjust. It's a lot more heavy duty. You got the drive power going straight down with a lever that's actually a lot more stable than the top bar on the other ones. And it just feels better, even though for some reason I've got the sounds of a slot machine playing in my head every single time I pull it down. But I can link the exact one if you want. These are all of the punches that it came with. So you get quite the variety. So you get all of those. And then you get these for when you're doing like hand stitching leather. All of these punches. And then you also get these edge punchers. So like if you're doing a belt with a rounded edge, that's what you would use. And you can buy other pieces to go with it. So you're not just limited to these. Let's see here. So this one, I paid $95 for. And it comes with all of those. So there's that if you're wanting to take a look at it. And then I still use the regular punches or press for setting my rivets and things. Let's see here. So what is everybody else up to? You guys have decent holiday season and New Year and all that stuff? Well, I guess the year itself is not over with. It's barely begun. You guys do anything special? Anybody get shit-faced or go anywhere or anything fun? Because I just stayed home. I was going to have a glass of wine, but I forgot because I got sucked into sewing, actually. Krampus Queen. I've never heard of that. I'll have to take a look. Oh, wait a minute. No, I think I have heard of that one, and it shows kind of a weird looking wannabe Krampus looking guy on the front cover standing behind the girl. I think, yeah, Melissa, I think you sent me that one. At the moment, my Kindle is full of samples and borrowed books, so I need to start getting on those so that I can actually start clearing out the list and get some more. Ew. Okay. Well, I don't know which one it was that I saw, but I'm pretty sure it was one that you sent me the link to. And I took one look at the cover and was like, oh, he doesn't look like Krampus. But then again, I have to blame the movie for that one, because now, unless the Krampus has a gaping mouth and his eyes are like milky white and he's got like gingerbread men and crazed toy boxes following behind him, I don't want to see it. Oh crap, I just put that on before I put the fit. Damn it. I wasn't even paying attention. But yeah, now it's really hard for any Krampus to live up to that movie for me. I kind of want to get the animatronic, but I have a feeling that it wouldn't go over too well in my neighborhood. I live in a very, very, very conservative neighborhood. Actually, I don't even know if you'd call it conservative. It's, God, posh. It's freaking posh out here. But I do know that if I cross over into the next town over, which is still technically considered part of my town, it's redder than a baboon's ass over there. And I have nobody but myself to blame for picking out this house. Luckily, we do not live in an HOA, but there is one about 2 blocks to the west of us. And yeah, I don't think they would enjoy that very much. And judging by the decorations or lack thereof for Halloween and any end of year holidays in the area, it's pretty... My neighborhood is a newer neighborhood in the town comparatively. This house was built in 2001, and everybody who lives here is either a boomer or a Gen X with kids that are under the age of 20. So we do have a little bit of a mix, but it feels like it's nothing but boomers. So it's like all the Gen Xers have moved in quietly and have maintained their silence, almost out of respect for all of the boomers in the neighborhood. All right, that is done. Let me grab the bag for that one. This is such a pretty print. So this is the bag that it goes to. That is the Monroe. And I had no idea that it was going to be so small. Not a fan of the size, but I do like the bag. I did not do the little snaps that were here because it just felt too small to me to have it cramped up like that. Hello, Happy New Year. Thank you. It's the Monroe from, oh my God, Melissa, help. Oh my God. Yes, Lynn's Handmade. Oh my God. Brain fart. I haven't even been looking at other patterns lately. So if I see anything, I just like instantly forget it. So there's that one. Very small, but still very cute. I did actually, I think I used Decoville Light on this one, but this is Dragon Sheen, and I love Dragon Sheen, but it does not take to the Decoville Light very well. So that's why it looks all crinkly. And I need to clean it. I don't know what all this white crap is. I think my son may have gotten into it again. I had all of these bags sitting in my photo box. Here's the other one that I did. I really love this one. Except this was the first time I made it, and I wish I would have moved the skull down a bit further. But this one I did with some skulls all over. And I did modify the straps quite a bit and just kind of winged it and did my own thing on there. And then the handles are a hybrid between the Lynn's handles that are in the pattern and my tube rolled handles. These have the rope in them like she recommends, but I did my double folding technique so that they would be stronger and so that I wouldn't have to trim them, and I don't have to use edge paint either. So I think they turned out okay. This one I actually put tube in. So this one's rope, this one's tube, and I definitely like the tube better. But that's just down to personal preference. The polka dots are mine. Maybe if you ask nicely. I'll tell Reen that she can print them for you if you want them. This is the one that I did last night. I was going through my project bins that, of course, have not been sewn up. And I found that I had a Laura or a Lauren sitting in there. And I didn't realize it was in there. And the only reason I recognized it as a Lauren is because this is my Lauren add-on pocket. And what I did differently, as you can see, it doesn't want to stand up. I added 0 facing. So it's a squishy, slouchy bag. However, because the vinyl is a little stiff, and oh damn, I didn't even see. I jacked up my top stitching there. I'll have to fix that. I used waterproof canvas on the inside, so it's a lot more stiff than I would want it to be. So next time if I do this, I'm going to probably use a cotton lining. But I did this one pretty basic. I only did the large zipper pocket on the inside. That's a full-sized monster pocket there. And then the 2 pockets there. And then instead of doing the 2 front and back handles, I added side anchors that have a shoulder strap that's non-adjustable attached permanently. And then I also added a top D-ring for adding a removable crossbody strap. But I ran out of my shell clay, and so I need to order some more. And then I also did this where I connected 3 different pieces of strap together just to kind of give it a funky little, I don't know. I was just playing around with it. And I do like the way it came out. I might keep this for myself, or I might not. If I decide to sell it, I'm going to have to redo this top stitching because I didn't see that it was looping through. Also, normally it's got a full zipper on here, like a large pouch. But I decided to add this guy on here instead. So, semi-recessed zipper, but attached at the very top. I like it. I love stripes, and I need to do more with stripes because why the hell not? All right, so now I've got one of the bins that I emptied, or that I'm trying to empty, is Greedy Clutch. So I'm going to lose my mind here because I have lost the, oh, nope, there they are. Couldn't find the anchor bands, or the tabs. I do not know how late I'm planning on staying up tonight. It is currently 1:45. Don't really have much going on tomorrow, but I'm gonna try my damnedest not to stay up past like 2, because without having to drive kids around, I've been pretty much just crawling into bed at 6 a.m. every night. Every day, I should say, every morning. And it's totally jacked up my sleep. Doesn't help though that I spent the first entire week sick. My voice is still not at 100%, but it was crap. It was horrible. First my son was showing signs of being sick for about 2 weeks straight, and then the third week it just slammed into him. And then he insists on sleeping with me when he's sick. So he shared it with me. So that was fun. Oh, these are wristlets I haven't drawn the lines on yet. And then partially through the first week of break, my daughter got sick. And she is still trying to get over it. My husband said he had a tickle in his throat for like a day. And I think maybe it lasted like 2 days or something like that. But he essentially got out scot-free. Whereas there was one day where I couldn't even really crawl out of bed. We suspected it may have been COVID, but we chose not to test or anything because, I mean, it's COVID. It's COVID. So we've all had it before, and it wasn't really serious. Like, I've been laid up with the flu worse than COVID ever hit me. So if it was COVID, then that was the second time I've had it. But I don't think it was because I could hardly get out of bed. Yeah, there's been a lot of nastiness all over. I know that several of the kids at my son's school were sick. And a lot of those kids go to his one of his therapy locations. So, of course, everybody is, 'tis the season for sharing, because sharing is caring. At one point, I suspected that my husband brought it home from work, because that's happened before, but who knows? Who cares where it came from? It came, and we spent Christmas sick. But we chose to stay home this year, so we didn't go hang out with family. So we didn't have to expose anyone. Straps has got to be the most boring part of any bag nowadays. I used to love doing straps. Everybody was talking about how much they hated them. But I loved them. Now it's just boring and repetitive, so now I see why everybody hated them. Although, I still like seam ripping. So that's one thing I don't think anybody could convince me is not fun. So what kinds of plans does everybody have for the new year? Are y'all into making resolutions and trying to stick to it? I know for me, I don't make resolutions, but I do have goals. And to be realistic for me, I would love to be able to release at least 4 patterns this year and go live at least once a month. Because I went live a lot more last year than I did the year before. Actually, did I even go live 2024 at all? I don't remember. If I did, I think it was only like once or twice. But I only released 1 pattern last year, which in comparison to previous, in 2024, I think I released 3 or 4, at least 3. Because I did Bat Company Wallet and the Just Checking Checkbook were both released the same weekend. I don't remember. Y'all are falling asleep on me over there. Oh, that's right. I forgot about temper. Completely forgot about temper. But that's 3. I could swear I released another one earlier in the year. But I guess not. Like Sanctuary, that was released last year, or not last year, 2024. BCW was released in 24. No. 2020. Yeah, 2024. Alongside the checkbook. Wait. Yeah, I don't know. I just one pattern in 1 year was kind of disappointing. But, I mean, the year that I released The Narcissist, I only released one pattern that year. I'll get there. Eventually. I think once I get back downstairs, it'll be better. Unfortunately, we have not heard back from a guy who was interested in purchasing our pool table. So we don't know if he wants it or not. If we don't hear from him by like Monday, maybe I'll have my husband reach out and see if the guy's still interested. And if he's not, I'm prepared to just take a sledgehammer to the damn thing. I mean, it's not like we paid for it, so we're not going to be out the money. Oh God, Sanctuary was in 2022? Wow. Yeah, I don't really memorize those. That's why I put the release date on the pattern page. Because I'm useless for remembering that. Well, technically, I worked on, well, there's Sanctuary, or not Sanctuary, there's Temper, which technically I started in November of 2024, but released last year. And I was working on The Narcissist, and then I was working on that one other thing, and I was working on my bowler bag, and I may have been working on 2 or 3 other new patterns that I didn't tell you about because I knew if I told you about them, you'd be pushing me to do them, and I wasn't full of sojo. So I just kept my mouth shut. uh, I can't tell you things sometimes, lady. Because you are like one of my biggest cheerleaders. And sometimes I just don't want to be cheered. So I just say, oh my God, this is so cool. I have to show somebody. I can't show anybody. I can't. So I just work on things behind the scenes. Like very behind the scenes. So far that nobody knows. I'll show you when I have something more solidified, like when I actually have something sewn up. I've only gotten as far as printing the pattern pieces for one that I decided to change up last minute, so those printed pieces are pointless. But I'll get to them. I do have stuff started, which is why I said my goal would be to release 4 or 5 patterns this year, because I already have stuff that I've been working on. I do have to try and stay busy, even when I can't focus on things. See, I didn't tell you. That's why. Because I know it would have been like forefront, and you'd been asking about it, and I would feel bad because I didn't have any updates to give besides that I've been working on it in Photoshop. Oh, wait, no. I got further than just printing the pieces. I did sew one shell. Just one. And I didn't like how it came out. But I think I'm going to do the bowler next. Because that's one that I've been wanting. And I need a new bag. I need something that I can hang my charms from. Yeah, I've completely given it an overhaul. Just to make some of the pieces make more sense. But it's going to be the same concept, because that's one that I've been working on for, well, that's one that I've been looking at, sitting on my shelf, not working on for like the past 3 years. The life of a bag designer kind of sucks. You know, when I sit here and I watch other people who design bags talk about it, like Shannon from Knotted Threads, she does these update videos once a month where she talks about things that she's been working on and stuff that's coming up and what's going on and whatnot. And she's talked about bag patterns that she's had done, you know, sewn up, that have been sitting on her shelves for months. And it makes me realize, you know, it's not just me. I'm not the only one who's designing bags, sewing them up, and then leaving them to sit untouched. So that made me feel a little bit better. But at the same time, every time I walk through the room and I see these bags that have been sewn up, that are ready to go, could be used, could be written into a pattern, but they're not, I feel bad. So I just try to avoid looking at them. Yeah, the narcissist update, I mean, that sucker, as you know, is ready to go. That just needs the tutorial. And I could release it without it since, you know, that's how I write my patterns. But there's always somebody out there who doesn't want it unless it's got a video. So at the very minimum, I can have the video ready when I release it. And I know I am my biggest critic. This is why I've had so many, like, oh my God, there was this one bag that I started 2 years ago. And the way I typically do my first draft, it will not have handles. So I will, you know, do the pattern pieces, check all my measurements, cut things out, and then sew it up, take a look at it, and then decide where I want to take it. You know, what direction I want to go in. And I had this one that was probably about 13 inches long, maybe about 9 or 10 inches tall, and about 4 inches deep or so. And I don't know if I just chose the wrong materials or if I was just having a major brain fart when I created the pattern pieces. But when I sewed it up, it was literally just a large pouch. Just a large pouch. Box bottom, pointy top, just a large pouch. I said, are you kidding me? Even without the handles, it was just a pouch. And I was just so disgusted with it that I literally threw it on a shelf and walked away. I didn't want to have anything else to do with it. Because I had spent, I think, 2 or 3 days trying to perfect the measurements in Photoshop for it to just be a large pouch. Very frustrating. And I like my patterns to be very unique and outside the box. I mean, the most boring pattern I think that I've done is the Flatterer. Why is it boring? Because it's literally just a circle bag. Everybody has a circle bag pattern. The only things that stood out on mine are the anchor band and the fact that it's a 15-inch circle bag, whereas everybody else has one that's like 10 inches. So there's not really a lot special about it. And if somebody really wanted to take their time to try and replicate the anchor band on a smaller bag, they could. Why did I make it? Just because I wanted a really large pumpkin bag. And never ended up making myself one. But that doesn't stop other people from wanting it. I mean, it sells. People still buy it. I've had people buy the ones that I've made. I've had people request them for customs. So there are people out there who like that bag, but it's literally just a circle bag. So when I go and do something like 3 days in Photoshop and just end up with a boxy pouch, it's quite disappointing. Especially since that's not what I was aiming for. And I know people like making pouches. You like making a ton of pouches. But everybody and their mother has a pouch. You know, they've all got a pouch pattern, and I didn't want to do another pouch pattern, so I chucked it. I might go back and redo it one day. We'll see. But for now, I'm not even worried about it. I have so many others that need to be done. I have now 3 different bowler designs that I've been working on in the sketch phase. One of which is the one that you've seen come into fruition. And I've got a couple of hobo bags. Got another couple of tote bags. Briefcase bag, I believe. I don't know if that's what I'm going to call it, but it's kind of what it looks like at the moment. What else do I have? I've got a couple of satchels. I think the only thing... Nope, I can't even say that because I was going to say I don't think I've ever designed a backpack. I literally have a backpack. I just did that in the wrong spot. But the backpack, that's the elongated narcissist. So I don't know if I really count that one. But I do have all the pattern pieces, and there is a lot of them. Yeah, it's a big one. I actually have a client who has had a Joanna Parker holiday flatterer that I made. What are you doing up there, Kiva? Don't look at me like that. She's up there fluffing up her bed like she's a freaking cat. Oh, and Raven hasn't been put in her kennel yet. Great. What was I saying? Oh yeah, she bought one of the Joanna Parker flatterer bags, and she was a repeat client, and so I threw in I ended up making her a matching greedy clutch, and that was when the greedy was still in the testing phase on my end. That was before I went to testers at all. That was one of my prototype bags, and she had been using both bags regularly, and I guess at some point somebody stole them from her. So she recently did purchase something else from me, but she asked if it would be possible to remake the other 2 bags because she missed having them. So I have to make a new flatterer and greedy for her. And she said she was using her greedy as a makeup bag. So I said, you know, do you want me to add like a zipper pouch or a slip pocket and get rid of the credit card slots next time? And she said yes. So as soon as I get all of my shit together and I reopen customs, she is going to be one of the first that I make for. I still have the canvas that I used to make her bag, and I also oh god, that's you. That scared the crap out of me. At first I thought one of the dogs was like peeing on the floor. My daughter's in the kitchen. So I still have the original canvas, and I can get more too because I got it from Spoonflower. Still have the canvas. Actually ordered more now that I think about it. And I used a whatchamacallit, the liquid vinyl to waterproof it. And I have everything else that I need to recreate the bag and both bags, but I do not have the snowflake zipper pulls that I had initially used on it because they came from Sodolce. So, or Sodolce. I don't know how she pronounces it. Google says it's Sodolce, but I never asked her. Anyways, she's shut down. Can't get that stuff anymore. Can't find anything relatively close. And the ones that I used on the bag initially were extremely highly detailed. And nobody else carries them. The ones that I've seen are either not double-sided or they just don't have the same kind of detail. So I am forever looking for those. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything on that one. Not looking to say anything about hobo bags. Nothing. I didn't say anything. And I'm not going to say anything. You're just going to have to wait and see if things fall into place. And if they do, I'll have to show you stuff. Oh, no. There's a few things that I didn't show you that I'm working on. We'll see. Once I have a prototype in hand and I know that it's going to work out, I will show you. But I am not going to show you anything before that because I don't want to get your hopes up. Alright. Hey, once the kids go back to school, that means I can actually do daytime lives again. Because I need to shift my hours back to find some semblance of normalcy. But what? You'll be okay. You can do hobo bags in bat print. How about that? And Reen will keep you fully stocked in lots and lots of bat fabric. So just make sure you toss a Red Bull inside of every single bag you make. There's your wings. Yep, she does. All right, so now I'm going to stitch these all, but I am not going to attach I'm not going to finish the handles because I haven't even pulled out the hardware for those yet. So I just want to get the handles sewn and then I can go on to the bags. And I am not doing, card slots in either of them. Ugh. So that should make it a little bit easier. I am doing a zipper pocket in each one, and I also cut out pieces for slip pockets, so I might do that. We shall see when I get to it. Oh, but I need to change out the thread. Or yeah, I'm just going to do all black on the one because I don't want to keep going back and forth with my thread having to switch it out. I switched over to rainbow only to finish that crossbody strap. Let's see here. This would not be the ideal time to bob and dump. Do I even have... Oh, no, wait. I did. I rolled some black bobbins the other day. I have 3. I'm hoping that I will be able to get a 1541 soon. Really, really hoping. When I redesigned the layout for the basement, I did it with a third industrial in mind. So I made sure to design the layout with space for it. But if this guy doesn't come and get this pool table, I don't know how delayed it's going to be. Because we're going to have to redo the floors and finish painting the walls before I can move back down there. At a minimum, we're going to have to rip up the carpet. That's not going to be fun. By the way, if you haven't already, change your needles, change your rotary blades, change your other blades if you use like X-Actos. Change all the blades. Start the year off with new stuff. And I think I'm going to heed that warning because I have not yet changed my needle. I've been using the same needle for, well, I haven't been using it, but this needle's been on my machine since, oh God, it's probably been on there for the last 3 or 4 months. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. Here's a little tip for you. When you buy needles and use multiple sizes, write what size thread you intend to use it with right on the pack. I do that. I am about to use a 21. I think everybody did fall asleep. I'm lulling them to sleep with my comforting voice. Why are you girls barking? God, it's what, 11:30 for you guys? See, I remembered. West Coast. I've been trying to remember that you are not over east. I've been watching the rest of the U.S. getting just having their asses handed to them with the weather lately. And everyone to the west has been getting rain and snow, whereas everyone to the east has been getting rain, snow, and tornadoes. But for some reason, they've been leaving us alone here. We got a little bit of snow. But paying attention to the weather, I kept thinking all the people on the east side are getting hit with this, all the people on the west side are getting hit with this. And then I would sit there in my head try and remember who was getting hit with what. And so I've been able to start remembering things. Really weird. It's hard to explain my ADHD brain. But I think of random things like that. Oof, I jacked up the stitching on this. No, I'm not going to. Nope, I do need to pull threads on these ones. Because they have to be attached to the bag. Is there Have there been any new patterns out recently that have been really cool looking? I don't keep up on patterns anymore. I'm just kind of curious what's been released that's really good. Chances are I probably won't get it, but I've got way too much to work through on my own. But I don't need to be collecting any more patterns. You know what? I've heard just about enough of you in that wallet. Just on any casual day, I'm going to make 100 wallets. And then you say you're sick of the pattern. And then you make more. I don't think you're sick of it. I think you're obsessed with it. You need to get your site up and running, or you need to take your butt to a craft show and start pawning them off on other people. That sounds like quite the laundry list. Lots and lots of stuff going on there. What are you doing? What? Pause. I can mute it for a sec. All right, give me a sec, guys. Where's the mute button again? There. Say hello to the little cutie. Say hi, Beryl. Cutie pie. I'll see him before you guys go. Okay. This one. my daughter was bringing him down because she's been cuddling close with him for the past couple weeks. He unfortunately has an inoperable tumor. I spared you all the view because it's nasty. It's huge. And he's declining. And unfortunately, he will be saying the permanent goodbye tomorrow. So she's getting in all the time she can with him. He is the last of our rats. One of his brothers just passed away a few weeks ago, and he lost his other brother several months ago. We started off last year with 5 rats. One of them was an old boy who passed in the beginning of the year. And then Beryl was one of 3 brothers, Lock, Shock, and Barrel. Of course, they had to. Okay, good night, Nicole. Had to name them after Burton characters, of course. So, Shock went first. Randomly. We had no idea why. And the other 2 rats that we had also went. So for the past 6 months or so, we've only had Lock and Barrel. And Lock passed, and now Barrel, even though he's been really lively, is unfortunately at the end, and the tumor is taking its toll. So he's going to be going tomorrow. And she was just bringing him down for me to see him. He's not doing so great. But after him, I'm taking a break from rats for an extended period of time. One, because I'm getting more into my fish hobby again, and 2, because it's been very heartbreaking for her. And you know, they only live for about 2.5 years. If you're lucky, they might stretch to 3. But we've had a total of 13 rats in this house. And the first 2 that we had were the bestest boys ever. My heart rat Victor and her heart rat Jack. And if you've seen on my Facebook profile, there's a picture of Victor on my header picture. All 3 of my bestest pets are all on that picture now. Because we also, I don't know if I said, I don't think I told anybody, we lost Colin last year. He also had an inoperable tumor in his bladder. So we had to also take him for the permanent sleep, and that was tough. But all of our animal numbers are dwindling down, and fish are easier because I'm a lot less attached to them. So, and I'm not bonded with Beryl. He's never liked me until recently. After his last brother passed, he kind of started to like people. He's really bonded with my daughter. Yeah, with Cullen, though, it was, we had him and his sister Bella ever since my daughter was 2. So, what makes it more messed up, though, is the fact that the same week she turned 18 was the week that he passed. So it was like, happy 18th birthday, and then 3 days later he was put down. So we're ready to be done with 2025 because it's been a shit year. Just the other day, Kiva had a seizure, and we're pretty sure that it was something that she ate because she's never had a seizure in her life. And Raven, who is our Eskimo, she had a seizure once when I was on a live, when I was still down in the basement. She just had 3 seizures in 3 days. Yesterday and then the 2 days before. So 2025 was not a good year for our animals. I also lost one of my parrotfish and 2 of my tetras, but I was not as attached to them. The tetras are pretty much just kind of filler fish. You know, it's just something to take up space, so it's a little hard to get attached to them. And I was not, I didn't have the other parrotfish long enough to bond with him yet, but now I've got Aussie Fishborn, who's a little asshole, who likes to remind me when he's starving to death because he refuses to eat fish pellets, you know, like specifically cichlid pellets. He doesn't want to eat fish food that was made for him. He gets mad if I don't give him bloodworms. He goes after all of the pleco babies. And when I say babies, I mean newborns, because for some stupid reason, two of the Plecos in there decided to get it on with predators swimming above their heads. And now they've got hundreds of babies in my old 54-gallon tank. And there's a few babies in the new 75. So as I catch them, I put them into the 54, and then they're going to end up going to the fish store that we frequent, I think, because I don't want any Pleco babies. Raven has been to the vet many times. They don't know why she has the seizures, and they don't have her on like seizure medication or anything, because it's pretty sporadic. It's really random when she has one, and they come on pretty slowly, and she'll usually seek like me out and hide by my foot and just kind of ride it out. With Kiva, we almost took her to the vet, but she hasn't shown any kinds of signs of distress or anything like that. But we will be taking both of them in as soon as our schedules align and open up for it. Kiva still needs to be fixed, and Raven needs to be knocked out for a full dental workup. So we'll have them check vitals and stuff. Kiva would only be going in to get, or not Kiva. What was she going to see? Oh yeah, she was going to be seen. She needs to be spayed. So when she does that, they can do a full workup and blood panel and all that good stuff on her. And then Saoirse, she just needs to be microchipped. So we will be taking them all in. But yeah, I mean, seizures aren't something that are in Kiva or Saoirse's history. So the fact that that came out of nowhere was odd. I'm always telling my husband not to give them table scraps, because you never know what it's going to do to them. And I'm pretty sure she had some table scraps that day, but she also may have picked some stuff up off the food, or off the floor. And if that's the case, then she probably hoovered up something that she shouldn't have. When Raven had her 3 seizures, my husband said that he found a half-chewed grape inside of her kennel. So she hardly ever has seizures, and when she does, like I said, they're random. But the fact that she had 3 in 3 days, and he found that grape in there, it's just a little suspect. So we'll get everything sorted out and get it all taken care of. Oh, Jesus. Luckily, our dogs don't eat blankets or rocks. But they will lick up every single stray piece of food. Like if you drop one tiny little kernel of rice on the floor and it gets kicked under the cabinets, somehow one of them will find a way to eat it. All right. So now for my first flap, I'm doing a silver skull. Why? I do not know. I don't know why, but I've started using more glue than double-sided tape when it comes to certain things. Really? Yeah, I find that obviously you can glue more surface area than you can when it comes to double-sided tape. And in some areas, it just tends to make more sense. The glue that I'm using can also be used for like leather. And one of the things that I've been looking for is this magic glue that I see leather workers making their stuff with. And I'll see them like put the glue on onto like both surfaces. I didn't do both surfaces on here because I didn't mark where the skull goes. But you put it on both surfaces and then you let it almost dry. And then when you adhere it, it's like an instant tack. And I've just been fascinated with that. Well, come to find out that I had a glue on hand that I could actually do that with. So I have been. Let's see if I can find the link. Nope, I think I got this actually. Oh no, there it is. So I paid wow. Okay, I'm going to share this link, but the prices on it suck. I paid nope, where'd that order go? $35 for a pack of 4 bottles. It looks like they don't have the 4 bottles on here anymore. For some reason, this listing, it still shows it as the listing that I purchased from when I initially bought it before. It was $15.99 per bottle, but now it's showing $25.60 per bottle. That is insane. But the last time that I bought it was back in February of 2025, and I paid $35 for 4 bottles. And it looks like right now they have a 5-pack of bottles for $42.23. So that's not a huge jump. I would say it's still worth it. But I use Fabri-Tac primarily for stuff like that now. I previously would use E6000, but it was really messy. And I've found that the Fabri-Tac is just not as messy. And it's more of a leather adhesive. But you don't have to wait for it to dry. Like I said, you can glue like 2 surfaces and then wait for it to dry a little bit and then stick them together and have like a super instant tack. Oh, that took you to a link for 4? Why isn't it coming up on my site? Yeah, it's weird. Because when I click on the link, it shows me 1, 3, 5, and 12. Oh, you put a link in. Yeah, that's a completely different link. That's not a site. That's not one that I've purchased from before. Completely different seller. Let's see here. Yeah, $34.99 for 4 is what I paid. $36.55. That's still not a horrible jump, especially seeing as how people are charging $25 for 1 bottle. I know that Fabri-Tac is one of the more expensive glues, but if you can get it bulk at a discount, totally worth it. All right, this is the part that I suck at because I'm not using my top stitching foot, and I suck at top stitching with that one. Yeah, the deals for the Fabri-Tac, you kind of got to shop around and find the best deal, because there's some places that will give you an actual deal for buying bulk, but other links, it's just like they just happen to be reselling, and so they'll just put it at whatever random price. I've seen some listings where they'll have like a 2-pack for like $25, but then they'll have a 3-pack for like 24. But then, of course, if you actually purchase it at that cheaper price, the next time you go to do it, it's like double the price. So I don't know if they just like lower the price to lure people in and then crank the price back up or what, but it's pretty obnoxious. Which is one of the reasons why that I do buy it in bulk when I get it, because that way I've got enough that I don't have to keep trying to hunt down those prices very often. Yeah, my top stitching's wonky. Oh well. Oh, that stinks. Holy crap. Ugh. Now I can switch back. Oh, I can hear that bobbin. Surprised it didn't already run out. Yeah, it looks like I didn't pull out any hardware for anything. But since I'm going with silver glitter vinyl, makes sense to do silver hardware, except this is nickel. Oh well. Nothing's stopping you. Well, if you quit cutting so many of them out, you won't have that issue now, will you? You're just going to have to finish sewing them all up. You did it to yourself. See, I think cutting out 8 or 9 narcissists at once was a big mistake. But I had to. So there's that. I almost decided to sew one of those up tonight, but quickly decided against it because I don't think I have all of the parts completely cut out for one yet. I mean, as it was, I still had to cut out the lining for these. Why did I just put that back? Because I had everything but the lining cut out. Yeah, I gotta get back to that. One day, it's all part of me getting my shit back together, right? Yeah, I know. Well, I'm hoping that things settle down and fall into place. And as long as things go good for little man at school, then that's going to play a huge part in me getting my sanity back. Oops, I got glue seeping out. I don't know why I didn't use that much. Crazy. It's taken a bit to get used to these clips. They're so freaking dainty. But I like them. Even if they go flying out of my hand because they're too small to even grab. Oh crap. How the hell that happened? I started using the wrong seam allowance. I was doing a 1/2 inch instead of a 3/8. What the hell? I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I actually get tired nowadays. So my brain's not firing everything the way it should be. I don't have to pull it all the way out at the end. That is odd. I blame the weather. I wholeheartedly blame the weather because it has just been funky. Because this is just not normal. Well, tonight, to be fair, I had a glass of wine that I literally just finished a few minutes ago. So I'm feeling relaxed and warm and fuzzy inside. And I feel like if I lay down, once my head hits the pillow, I will definitely be out in like less than 3 hours. That is if I look at stuff on TikTok like I have been doing. Because I'm horrible at that. I thought about adding a zipper pocket on here, like what's in the Narcissist. But last minute I decided not to. I'm not trying to overcomplicate this thing. But the flap is definitely large enough for a small one. I think what I might do actually is, oh crap, I do this stuff way too slow. I need to learn how to speed up. It's 2:30 here, so I think what I'll do is I will top stitch this one and then sign off and maybe come back earlier tomorrow. Yeah, I've been on for almost 3 hours, and all I have to show for it is a flap and a bunch of straps. I don't think anybody sews as slowly as I do. And I can't even blame it on, like, not having my Sojo or anything like that, because I was sewing this slow even back when I was live before. Yeah, I talk a lot though when I'm live. And I get up and I talk with my hands and I look up links and it all just makes me really, really slow. Oh God, that's hardly perfection. It almost feels like I've forgotten how to sew sometimes. God, why do I always have this issue with glitter vinyl? It's so weird. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, hells yeah. I just won bobbin chicken. Yeah, I kind of like that. Even if it is all lumpy. I decided to go with what is it called? It's the heavyweight fusible fleece instead of foam. It's just not very heavy. I like a thick, heavy flap, but it's fine. It'll still work. That's going to be so cute. It's almost exactly what it's going to look like when it's done, too. I dig it. Yeah, I think that's a good spot to stop. And then maybe I'll have the other flap done before I go live next time, because it's just a straight up plain flap. There's nothing special about it. Just a black flap, but with the long shape to it instead of the backing flap. So that works. I will get some sleep and go live before I start to get exhausted. Because that's the only thing that makes sense if I don't want to be screwing up and falling asleep. Although that was probably minimal for my mistakes that I usually have. Okay, yep, that's me. I'm ready to get off here. So thanks for hanging. And I'm gonna, yeah, I'll try and come back live tomorrow. Tonight. Today. Later today. I could probably get the hubby to get the kiddo out of my hair. Good night.